Hi Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel. It is Friday, August 1st, 2025, and it is well past time for me to come on and do another video. It has been, I think my last video was in early June. It was before I went to StitchCon. I had every intention of coming home from StitchCon and filming a recap video, but life and work just got very, very busy, and July just kind of flew by in a haze, and August is shaping up to kind of be the same way, which I don't know, feels unfortunate. I'm sorry, there's a truck driving by. That distracted me. But anyway, August is gonna be another busy month. I have some travel coming up, and just I know work is going to be kind of a nightmare. So today seems like a good time to take a few minutes and film a video. I also very much want to put away some stuff. I have a pile that has been building up over here since StitchCon. A lot of it is haul from StitchCon, and then some other things that have come in since. All three of the pups are in here today, so you'll probably hear some snoring, especially my poor boy. I took him to the vet yesterday because he's been kind of not really limping, but not walking right, and he's been really struggling to get up the stairs and has fallen down a few times. And so I went to the vet yesterday, and he is going to need another CCL surgery. So a CCL in a dog is similar to an ACL, and they tear that, I guess it's a muscle, it's not really a bone, but they tear that muscle. And it's not an uncommon thing to happen in dogs, but unfortunately it keeps happening to my dogs. And I don't know why. It's not like my dogs are overly active or overly exuberant, but I think it's just the breed, which my dogs are a mixed breed because they're all rescues. But my girl dog has had the surgery twice, so both of her knees have been fixed. And then my boy dog had one of his knees fixed, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, and he'll be getting his other one fixed this month. So it's really unfortunate, but I gave him some pain pills this morning, and so they kind of knock him out. So I can hear him snoring, so I'm gonna imagine you guys can hear him snoring too. So that's one of the things that I know is going to keep me busy in August and probably away from my stitching a little bit is after his first surgery, the first week he didn't do very well. He wasn't eating, and he just kind of struggled with it, and the vets told me that that's not uncommon, but that's kind of what I'm anticipating after his next surgery, is that he'll need a week to kind of recoup, and I plan on being home and just kind of taking care of him, and we'll see how it goes. So, but yeah, let's get into the stitching. I have been terrible about tracking my stitches over the last month or so, and so I really don't know what I've worked on. I know that I have put some stitches in things, and like if you ask me what I worked on the weekend of StitchCon, I don't remember. I didn't write anything down, and I don't really remember what I had pulled out and worked on then. So what I've done is, for whips, I've pulled out the things that I think I want to work on in August, and I'll show you what the status of those projects are, and that'll kind of be the whips. I do have some finishes, which are over there, and I'll get those in a few minutes. And I have a ton of haul. Most of it is from StitchCon, and then some other things that have just come in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll save that all for the end. So if you're not interested and don't want to see the haul, you don't have to watch that part. But let's start with kind of my works in progress that I want to touch in August. First up, I started the 1st of July on new monthly series. So I finished the Primrose Cottage Smalls, and I started these Patini months 2025. So I started down here with July, and I'm doing these all in one piece. I also didn't iron or really organize any of this. So here's July, cute little crab. This is 32 count, picture this plus sand, and I used the called for DMC. So you see I started the frame because I'm going to do them all as once, just like the picture. And so probably this evening I'll start August, a little sunflower. And my guild has an event tomorrow, and so my tentative plans are to take that piece to work on tomorrow, so that with 4 or 5 hours of stitching, it'll probably be a finish tomorrow. Last weekend I started, excuse me, a new project that I had picked up at StitchCon. Lottie Daw was one of the vendors that had a trunk show in the attic. Annex, not attic. In the annex. And one of her pieces was fetish number 1, the parrots. Here's the chart. The model sold this 100%. And so a few of my friends picked it up, and we were all going to start it together. And so I know that I started it, Levi started it, who is Oh Stitch Please on Flosstube. I think, yeah, Pam started it, who is Wilson 3D Design on Flosstube. And Teresa, who doesn't do Flosstube, even though she should. All started it. This was my meager little start. This is 40 count Fox and Rabbit Desert Taipan. And the brown that I'm using is a Pirate Robin. So I decided for this that I'm just going to go to my wall of floss and just pull colors as I go. And so that's one that I got such a meager start on. And I think it'll actually be a fun, nice stitch once you get going on it. So I'd really like to get back to that in August. I would also like to get some work on Anna Funk this month. This is from Erica Michaels. I love this chart, and I keep, like, I'll pull it out and I'll put like a couple stitches in it and then it goes away. And I really want it to kind of be a focus because I would really like to get it finished before the end of the year. Here's my current status on Anna Funk. This is 40 count Color and Cotton Buttermilk. And I'm using the called for, which is a mix of Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts and Color and Cotton. Not Color and Cotton, Classic Color Works. Hold on one sec. Sorry, I kind of lost my voice. The next one that I'd really like to get the border done on this one in the next couple of months. This is Sampler Bird Stitchery, Blessed Are the Merciful. So I'm going to another retreat in November. And so this is, I think, one of those pieces that I think if I had the border done, it would be nice to just stitch the motifs at a retreat. And so that's kind of in my game plan for this one. Here is my current progress. So I think I'm almost across the entire top. It's not a very big sampler. So this is the called for everything because it came as a kit from Dine to Stitch. This is 36 count French Vanilla by R&R Fabrics. So that's one that I would really like to make some progress on and at least get the border done. So I think in my last video I had said that this blackbird was one that I thought maybe I could get a finish in at StitchCon. Well, that did not happen. But this is Moments of Glad Grace by Blackbird Design. And I did finish the border. I don't think I had the border all the way done in my last video. So I finished the border and one of the motifs. That's as far as I got. So this is another one that I would like to pick up in August and September and make some more progress on that one. It does feel good to have the border done, but still want more progress. Next up, this is the Goldbird sampler from Twin Peaks Primitive. My friend Amanda messaged me to ask me if I wanted to still stitch this with her, and I did, and so we made a plan in the middle of July to work on this. I had already started it, and so I picked it up and just got a little bit more done. Is that big dog hair on there? This is where I'm at on the Goldbird sampler. So this is the right side, this flower, and most of this bird. So I did not make as much progress as I wanted to on that one in July. I was hoping to maybe try to get the top birds done, and clearly that didn't happen. And so that's another one that in August I really want to make some more progress on. And then my last one that is in my current plans is this floral motif sampler from the Scarlet House. I'm so ready to be done with this one. So I picked it up the 1st of July, and I was working on it pretty steadily for a good week, and I really felt like maybe it could be a July finish. It didn't happen. So let's see what I have to put behind this. I should have grabbed a board. Maybe I could just hold it up. Here is where we are. So I made some progress, but there's still a lot of blank space right in the middle. So this one's gonna get done. In August, or if it takes me until September, that's fine, but this one is not gonna go away. It is gonna be done. I'm so ready to be done with this project. I'm stitching it with my friend Sherry, and she mentioned that she really wants to get it done in August, and I was like, me too. I wanted it done in July, and so it's one that will definitely be worked on this month. So those are my whips that I'm going to show today, and the ones that I plan to stitch on in August and roll into September and the rest of the year. I'm going to pause for a second. You won't see it. It'll be like a split. I'm going to pause and reset and get my finisher. Okay, I found one more thing. So, sampler September is going to be here before I know it, I feel like. And I have decided that I want a focus piece for that month, and it is going to be Erica Michael's Constant Companion. I'm going to do this version down here. Maybe that's a better picture. But I took this to StitchCon with me to do a silk conversion on it, but I went to Keepsakes and it was too hard. Like, it was, Keepsakes has their thread room upstairs in like a Keepsakes is an old house, so it's an old bedroom, I think. And they've got a lot of wonderful thread, but when it's busy and it was hot and there's not enough room to maneuver in there to try to do a thread conversion during a weekend like StitchCon. So I ended up just getting the called for cotton threads, which are beautiful, and I think that's just what I'm going to use to stitch that piece. While I was up getting stuff, I have some gifts that I'm going to share now that are not really a haul. So my friend Sherry got me this cute little crocheted frog as a belated birthday present. Isn't he cute? She didn't make him. She got him from somewhere, but I'm not sure who. I'll find out, and if you're interested, I can link that. And then my bestie Pam has started dyeing cotton floss, and she's gone gung-ho, and I have purchased some from her. And so let's see how I can show this best. She's stitching under the name Otter Creek Floss, but she's selling from her Etsy store, which is Wilson Stitch Co. I'm gonna link it below because you should go get some of this floss. She's coming out with like 5 or 6 new colors, it seems like, every week. Isn't it pretty? It's so bright and so pretty. I haven't really stitched with it yet, but I think it's so soft that I think it's gonna be great to stitch with. But here's her tags, and it's fabulous. And she's selling them as 10 yards in 10-yard skeins. So definitely go check it out. She's got a lot of like highly variegated ones. I'm not a huge like fan of variegated, but so I've bought most of solid colors, but they're so pretty, and I highly recommend you go buy some. And then last week she messaged and she's like, I'm making needle containers, personalized needle boxes, and of course I needed one. So here is my personalized needle box. So it's got these really nice magnets to hold your needles inside. Here's her Etsy store. Is it focusing? Go buy you one. They're really nice, and she will personalize it. I think she can probably do almost anything you'd want. She's got a bunch of new flower designs that she posted yesterday. So go check those out and get you a personalized little needle container. I've grabbed this too. So y'all know my guild does these challenge projects. And I don't think I showed this one. Maybe I did. The last challenge was to stitch a little bookmark. I might have showed this already. This is a pattern from Colorado Cross Stitcher that I modified onto some perforated paper and then glued it onto the bookmark. Well, I won the so you do the challenge and then you get a ticket for completing the challenge, and then they do a drawing for a project bag, and this is the project bag that I won from that drawing. It's really pretty. A couple weekends ago, there is a new quilt store local to me, and they are having a bunch of events. We were talking to the owner, and I think that she's going to try to incorporate some cross stitch into her shop, and or at least have some trunk shows and maybe some events related to cross stitch. But the event she had a couple weekends ago was to make prairie star ornaments, and so I went to that, and these are my ornaments. So it's just fabric that is folded and pressed, and then you pin it onto these special little I think they're styrofoam circles. The shape and stuff that she uses for these are, you can't just get anywhere. So she said the only source that she has found from them is someplace in Greece. And so I bought a couple extra of the blocks that you connect these to, and I might make some more in the future. But that was a fun day. If you saw in my last video, I did a little tutorial on finishing on a salt cellar. I had stitched Strawberry Come Again by Blackbird Design. And earlier this week, I showed you how I was going to finish it, and I went through the steps. So here's the finish. It's on a little salt cellar. So thank you for the nice feedback on that video. I really wasn't sure what I was doing and if I should even do it. Sorry, hit the camera. But I've gotten some nice feedback and comments on it, and I appreciate that. As I stated in that, I am not really a great finisher. Charlie's moving around. But it was, some people have been asking me for tutorials, so that's the best you're gonna get, I think. I don't have the camera set up and stuff to really do a good tutorial, and at this point, that's not something I want to invest in. There's plenty of other people that do some great tutorials on Flosstube, so I would go to them first. But of course, if I finish something and you're interested in seeing kind of my process of doing it, I'd be happy to do another one. But this is gonna be exchanged at my guild meeting tomorrow. So I wanted to show that again. Just Another Button company comes out with some pincushion kits every once in a while, and I had purchased one that had been sitting around and I finally finished it. It's a little turtle with, of course, their buttons, just finished in a little hoop. It's really cute. But I was glad to finally have that one done, and it was fun. I'd buy another one of their kits. I also completed my first Mill Hill kit. Let's see if I have something to put this against. I'm gonna use this. I did a little sea turtle. So that was a ton of fun, and I have purchased some more Mill Hill kits, and they are really great office projects. So they're small enough that when I'm in the office and in like a long call or during my lunch break or something to pull out, I'll show you in my StitchCon haul. Keepsakes has the little magnetic frames to hold the perforated paper, and I picked up a couple different sizes of that while I was there, and so I have one of those and a Mill Hill kit that is just living in my computer bag, and it just kind of goes to work with me every day, and I've yet to pull it out because I've been very busy. But one of these days when I'm not so busy at work, I fully intend to pull that out and work on another Mill Hill, because that was a lot of fun. I also, right before StitchCon, finished another Fern Ridge fob. So this is the dogwood fob, which is really pretty and sparkly. I love doing these too, and I have a bunch and really want to go do some more Fern Ridge fobs as soon as I have some time. I have this sitting here because I don't think I showed you my June finish of the Primrose Cottage 12 monthly minis. So here's June all finished up, except it still needs to be FFO'd, of course. But I love that series, and my friend Teresa brought her finish to StitchCon. She had stitched them all as one, It's gorgeous, and I'm keeping that pattern book because one of these days I may want to go back and stitch them again. They were fun to stitch, and having them on one piece I think would be really cool. And then my last finish was a little bit unexpected, but as I've mentioned previously, I take care of my elderly mother, and she had a couple different procedures in July that required us for me to take her up to the hospital. And then the first one, I think we were at the hospital for 6 hours, and then the last one, it was like 8 or 9 hours. So it was a lot of just sitting in the waiting room for me. And I've decided that I can't try to do any like real work at the hospital. It just seems impossible. So I took some stitching, and I wanted something that would be easy to stitch on. And so I pulled out a sampler St. Ives by Little Robin Design, and I managed to finish. So here it is. So this is stitched on a 28 count. I think it's a color and cotton, but I don't know the colorway. And I used the called for NPI silks, which it takes 2 different silk colors and you blend them. I don't know if that's gonna pick up on the camera. It's really pretty though. Like it gives it a really pretty effect. But because you're stitching with 2 strands, you do need to do it like on I know a lot of people do 2 strands on the 36 count, but I did it on a 28 and it's really pretty. So that was kind of one that wasn't on my radar to even complete this year, but it got done and I'm not mad about it. One of the things I did use a new tool while I was stitching that. It's not new tool, but it's kind of new to me. So I had bought this last September after the Garon retreat because one of my table mates at that retreat had one and I was intrigued by it, but I had never used it. I just bought it, and it's one of those things that had just been sitting and waiting to be used. What I'm talking about is a dome threaded needle case from Clover. This is what it looks like because I bought another one, so it's still in its package. But here it is. And what you do, I don't know if you can see that. Do you see I have a threaded needle in there? So you thread up your needle and then you just kind of wrap it around this thing and it'll hold up to 10 threaded needles. I wasn't sure how it would work, like filling it all up, and you know, I was worried that the threads would get tangled and stuff, but they didn't. It was beautiful. So at one point, I think I had 8 threaded needles in here. I had pre-threaded them the night before we went to the hospital. And so you just put them in there and then you grab your needle and it just pulls out. So it's fabulous. And then to load it, you just stick your pre-threaded needle in there, hook it through this little, I don't know if you can see that. There's like a little indentation, and then I'm not going to wrap this all the way around because it does make a clicking, but then you just wrap it and the thread goes inside of it somewhere. And then so then when you get the next one, you just go to the next slot and stick it in there and wrap it around, and that wasn't so bad. But then it holds your threaded needles, and then you put the cap on it, and it is so good. It's like I'm not gonna travel without one, I don't think. It was perfect for a monochrome because I could just thread up a whole bunch of needles, and then while I was sitting in the waiting room, I was just pulling out needles, and I didn't have to worry about, I'm a thread licker. So, you know, I didn't want to, hospitals just, you know what I mean. Like, they're clean, but you don't really want to, like, touch stuff and then, like, be licking and touching floss Do you know what I mean? So I to have these all threaded up, I think on an airplane it would be even better, because you know what I mean? Like, your hands don't ever really feel clean when you're in those type of environments. And so having pre-threaded needles, I've always had pre-threaded needles when I've traveled on an airplane, and they're gonna go in this case. So it is a little bit, I think if you had multiple colors in here, it could get a little bit confusing, but there are little numbers. I don't know if that'll show up. These little boxes are all numbered. See the 8, 9. So you could really organize it and use these, but I highly recommend. They under $10. I know that I saw them on Amazon. I picked this one up in my last 1-2-3 order. 1-2-3 stitch. Fat Quarter Shop has them. Get you one. Especially if you travel a lot with your stitching. These are fabulous. So that's my little pitch for today for a new stitching tool that I recommend. Okay, so that's my finishes and my whips. I'm gonna move into haul. I'm gonna pause for a quick second while I grab all that stuff. So if you're not interested in seeing haul, then I appreciate you coming to visit me. I love that everybody comes back and watches my videos every week. Or not every week. I'm not posting videos every week. I'm never going to be a person that posts a video every week. So my 3 times a year or whatever it is, who comes back and watches my videos, I appreciate them. I know that I've gotten a lot of new subscribers in the last couple months, and so welcome. I appreciate you all taking the time to subscribe and liking my videos. So I'm gonna grab haul and we'll get through that quickly because I do need to do some work today. Okay, let's do non-StitchCon haul first. So the Homespun Needlework group, which is a Facebook group, puts out exclusives. It seems like they've done one every 2 weeks lately, but I think it's once every couple of months they do an exclusive kit, and I've picked up the last couple of those. So this is from Needlework Press. It's called A Pair of Black Alphabet Samplers. I love these. So it is a full kit. So fabric, I don't remember what floss I got. Oh, I got the Belsoise. So I got the Belsoise silks. It came with this cute little horn book and an extra, my little black book of stitching, which is some extra charts and alphabets. So that was a good score. If you're not a member of the Homespun sampler group, you should be. You do have to be on Facebook, but you can open up a Facebook for just stitching. That's all that's on mine. I have a couple of friends, some family, and the rest is just cross stitching. So going on Facebook really isn't that bad for me. So recommend that. I got my next Dying to Stitch club kit. This is from Cross Stitch Antiques, Rachel De La Rue. Beautiful little sampler. This is also a full kit. And then the other homespun kit that I ordered was from the Scarlet House. This is a Grateful Heart. I love this. This one might get stitched on in the next month too. Sleepy puppies. But it is also a full kit with thread, and I think I just got the cottons on this one. And it came with a thread winder ruler. And then I also got my next Circle of Friends kit. This is from Erica Michaels. This is Cherish. And it's got some perforated paper chart, which is one of my favorite things to stitch. So it is also a full kit. They sent the perforated paper, but they didn't have the colored one, and so they sent a tea bag. So that's intriguing, and I think I'm going to try tea dyeing some perforated paper. And then I also got my next punch needle and primitive stitcher magazine, which I always say is a magazine you should definitely subscribe to. They have a digital version if you don't want to get the full magazine, which I think if you get the digital subscription, you get access to all or most of the old versions of that magazine, so that's a good deal. It's a ton of charts. Okay, StitchCon. These are table gifts, and I'm not going to go through everything that was given out at StitchCon. I think that there's some other people that have done that. But I'm going to go through my table gifts because they're special. They're from my friends. My friend Sherry. Oh, this guy stitched all of us my initials and made us these little spools. Isn't that cute? I can't believe she stitched us all a little gift, but that was so sweet. This was the take and make and some stickers from StitchCon. My name tag, the holder that my friend Pam made me last year. I don't want to go through every single one of these. I think my friend Teresa made these little needle books. And then she also gave us a pen cushion, some silks. This is a gum nuts silk, which I've always wanted to try. I need to leave that out and stitch something with that. I think these are purchases. I think I got these in the annex. I don't think these are gifts. These are purchases. This little, what do you call them? Scissor pulls or needling. What am I trying to say? Scissor fobs. Teresa lives outside of Phoenix, and so she got us attic needle minders, which are really cute. Trying to think what else is in here. My friend Lisa makes project bags, and she made our table mini project bags, which are a fabulous size, and she's putting these in the size in her Etsy shop, which is, let's see if this little, 2 old lady bags. You see the little tag? 2 old lady bags on Etsy. I will link her as well. This is one of our StitchCon gifts. It's the way to StitchCon, a little thread holder. And the bags this year were fabulous. They were these cooler bags. Mine's over there. I'm not gonna get it. I think a lot of other people have shown it. But really nice bags. I was really happy with it. And then my friend Lori made these little pouches that go around a coffee mug. So you put your coffee mug in there, and then it holds your little supplies. And she also gave us a little kit. Really sweet. I think that's all that's in here that I need to share today. My friends are the greatest. That's the reason I keep going back to StitchCon every year, is to see those friends. because they're the best people. I did miss, my friend Pam wasn't able to come, and Zoe, who is my friend Lisa, who makes the bags, daughter, she wasn't able to come either. She's in grad school, and so it was a little hard for her to try to travel, which is understandable. But hopefully they'll both get to go next year. We'll see how it works out, but it would be great to see them. I miss Pam a lot. StitchCon. So there was also a smalls exchange at StitchCon, which I participated in. I exchanged the bee salt cellar that I showed in my last Flosstube in June. And here is what I got. I got a project bag. So all the stuff, I left everything in here so I'd be able to tell you. This was stitched by Cindy. I don't know. I'm not going to say her last name because she didn't give me permission. She included a little notebook and a couple of charts in her exchange. But this bag, it's a good size, and it has a pocket inside. I haven't seen a project bag like this with a pocket. I love that. So good job, Cindy. And I love doing the exchanges. So that's an exchange. Okay. Charts and fabric are the other things that I went overboard with at StitchCon. And I don't think all the fabric in this basket that I'm about to show you is everything that I bought. I went way overboard on fabric purchases. I had no self-control, but some of that I've pulled out because I was kitting some stuff up and it's in different piles in this room. This room is a disaster. So between all my piles and the dog beds, I basically have to tiptoe over to my desk every morning, and that's why we're doing this video, so that I can clean up this weekend because it's ridiculous. But one of the charts I bought was from Running with Needle and Scissors. This is the Lost French Red. And I knew that my friend Pam was dyeing floss, and so I was looking all weekend for a chart that I could use to try out some of her floss with, and this was my choice. I have that upside down. I wanted to show you the chart because it's got little snails on it. It's really cute. But I need to start that. I also, in the annex, they had, I picked up a whole bunch of 56 count linen. I really want to stitch on 56 and I have a hard time ordering it. So when I saw it available, I kind of went overboard. And so this is 56 count Grace Notes Gingerbread Latte. This is 56 count Needle Bling Wing Beans. This is a 40 count Grace Notes Rustic Rose. It's really pretty color. It's pretty true. It's maybe a little bit pinker in real life. This is 46 count Not Another Sampler from Be Stitch Me. And this is 40 count Cold Foam from Be Stitch Me. The modeling on that. So I know that there's more fabric, but it's made its way other places, so I guess you'll see it when I stitch on it. Charts. They had the model. This is Jeanette Douglas, the common thread too. The models get me every single time. This one I actually started at StitchCon. This is Elizabeth Sora from my sister's sampler. The picture does not do it justice. It is so pretty. So I started it with Levi. I feel like there were some other people, but I don't remember who started it. But here's my start. This is 40 count B-Stitch Me Grog. And I'm using the called for Gloriana silks. So they had these thread packs made up where you just get enough silk to do the chart. Fabulous. So of course I bought that and I started that. I would like to get back to this. This fabric's yummy. It's a 40 count Verdal, I think. Yeah, B-Stitch Me Grog 40 count Verdal. So it's extra soft. And then charts. So I'm just gonna flip through these pretty quickly. This was a model at Keepsakes. It's JBW's Christmas Welcome. Of course, I sold me. Bent Creek had a little trunk show in the annex, and I picked up the fish flag and the daisy flag. I think I started this, but I don't know what I did with it. Here's one of those, the magnetic hoops for the Mill Hill kits that I was telling you about. Keepsakes has these available. I think, call them, they might have them. And then Bent Creek leaf flag. That's what I should stitch for fall. It is. This is one that my friend Teresa was about to put on the freebie table and I picked up. This is Summer Moon by Plum Street Samplers. Jeanette Douglas's trunk show again. This is Flowers for You. So pretty. Who just finished this? Somebody on Instagram just finished this one. This was a StitchCon exclusive this year. This was from Heart and Hand, Kindred Friends. I did not pick up the thread pack for it, and I kind of regret that. So next year, get all the stuff. This one I saw at Keepsakes. I might have been a model for it. This is from Sue Hillis, Santa's Real Helpers. Sue Hillis is retiring, which great for her, but it's sad. My sister's samplers. They had a trunk show in the attic, and it gets me every time. I actually had to be, I was trying to be really careful that I didn't buy charts that I already have. This is one that I kind of think might be already in my stash, but if it is, this might be a giveaway sometime. This is my sister sampling Catherine Terry. Again, the models. My sister samplers But a Day. I have the fabric for this too, so it's stitched, the model was stitched on 36 count Woodland Pine from number 12 Stitch Co. I have a piece of Woodland Pine. I think it's 40 count, but that's okay. Here's my sister samplers, Mary Huddlestone. The model sold it for me. And then Selena Demian. Oh no, that border is what sold this one. And then the last chart in here is another one that I picked up at Keepsakes. This is Quaker Turtles by Ellen Chester. They had a little basket with all of these done up in them. So cute. I feel like I'm in my turtle era, so I want to stitch all the turtles. But that's my haul. So I think that's everything I have for today, actually. So maybe this video won't be as bad as I thought. I don't feel like I had a ton to show you, but I mean, that was 6 or 7 whips, 3 or 4 finishes, and a lot of hauls, so that makes a pretty good Flosstube. I don't know when I'll be back. I doubt it's going to be in August because, like I said, I think August is going to be a pretty busy month for me. So maybe mid-September. We'll see how much stitching I get done between now and then. Like I said, I had some travel and I have some other just life things that are happening during the month that are going to keep me moving.